My name is Robert Bösch. I'm a photographer and a mountain guide. But since 30 years, I'm just working as a professional photographer. First, I was an addicted climber and mountaineer. And then I got the profession mountain guide. I worked a little bit as mountain guide to earn my money, but I wanted always to have enough time to make my exercising and to make my own things in the Alps. And I worked a little bit as mountain guide to earn the money. And slowly I became a photographer. And now, since 30 years, I'm just working as a photographer. I think it's more easy to publish your own photos than before, because you can publish everywhere. But it's harder to live because the prices for the photos goes down and down, because it's so much is cheap, or you can have it for nothing from the internet, from the online. And the print media have a problem. They still have less and less money, so they can't pay for the photos as much as before. Yes, it changed a lot. I think because the market changed, the outdoor sports doesn't exist 30 years before, and with the outdoor market and the sponsoring, I think the sports changed and also the photography changed. Of course, with the changing from analog to digital, that makes a new step, and so on. The situation now is that I would say it's harder to live as a photographer than before. I said, never trust one photo, because it's always the information, the true information to a photo. The caption is very important to say, to give a sentence to the photo, because a photo can say everything. This could be snow or sand or clouds. So only if I explain you what it is, it makes it interesting. If a magazine gives me the job to show how beautiful the Alps are, the Swiss Alps, and how many places you find without people and no industry, nothing. I can go 2 weeks and I bring you a lot of pictures, very beautiful. You cannot see houses, no trails, no human beings, nothing. Perfect landscape. And then the magazine comes and gives me the job to show how dirty the Alps are, how many ski lifts we have, how many roads, how many buildings. I go 2 weeks and I come back with photos and they show you how dirty the Alps are. The same time, the same Alps, it depends of the focus. We have always to be careful if we see a photo, because our first reflex is that we trust our eyes we trust most. But more important are all the informations I got from somebody who knows everything around this theme. Everest is a big casino. It's just it's on the border between alpinism and not alpinism, because it's just it's tourism. Most of the people that climb today Mount Everest, they are not real mountaineers. They don't have the experience to get to this place. They have no experience to survive on this place. They just get to the top because the Sherpas and everybody makes the perfect preparation. And so this is not what I like so much on this mountain. I had the job to accompany the first Swiss woman climbing Mount Everest, and it was for me, it was an interesting job, but it was also a hard job. And in the same time, my wish as alpinist was to get without oxygen to the summit, but this was in this contest not possible. So on one side, I'm proud to get to the summit and I was able to make all the photos and films, but as alpinist, it's not a big thing to go to the summit by oxygen. If you live an adventure on the limit, you will not have good photos after. And I mean the limit with not the rock climbing limits, because rock climbing is not dangerous. But if you're in the high mountains and you go there as alpinist to your limit, and limit means always it's dangerous for your life, so you just have one thing in your head to get maybe to the summit, but the most important is to survive. And if you want to survive, and this is the most important, you are not interested in photos. So if you came back with a lot of perfect photos, maybe it was not such a big thing alpinistic. I'm an old man, I'm still going climbing, but I'm not able to do the things what I did 20 years before. And so for me, it's possible to go sometimes with the athletes, also with Ueli Steck, and normally we did together. Sometimes we climbed together, for example at Makalu. So we wanted both to go to the summit, and I just took pictures during this time. But normally when Ueli Steck makes his solo attempts or these crazy things, often we went after and did just we went later and just to make the photos then. There's so many times, some expeditions, they just go to a special place, to a special mountain, to a special face, just to get some real good photos and to make a little bit the good action. But the most important thing is to make something good, but to bring very good pictures back home. And this makes the sports a little bit, it's a big part is, how do you say, not only show, but it's also for the show. It was never a clear line. It was not before better and now it's worse. You have still now alpinists, they just do their thing and they are not looking to the sponsors. They do something because they want to do. But there's a lot of athletes, they don't go out of the home before they not have a camera. I worked for several projects for the Swiss TV, documentary films. But for me, my heart is the photo. And for me, is the photo more important than the film. No, for me, it's more interesting because a photo is a photo. And the photo is always still important in 10 years if it's a good photo. But the film, it's something very fast. It's attractive to look. You have moving pictures, you have sound, everything. But a photo is has more power. I prefer making books, exhibitions, working for big stories in magazines. So these are for me the important things. And I think this is the place where photos still have a value. Because if you go to Facebook, to Instagram, all these things, it just goes very fast, liquid, and has no value. And it's funny to look, it's good that it exists, but it's not the place where the photo has a good place.